Maganda nga nabanggit niyo yung former OFWs. Pagka former OFW na ba, hindi na under the responsibility of OWA?
Your Honor, depende po sa kanyang tagal kung kailan siya nakauwi. So, may duration lang.
Generally speaking.
Kunyari mga 2 taon, kaya pa namin sagutin.
Hindi sa kaya, as a policy.
Oo.
As a policy, pag OFW ka, registered, documented OFW, OWA. But now that you have, after your stint as OFW, you tell us 2 years, you will still allow them to avail of your programs?
Gaya po nun, depende ho, Your Honor, kung gano'ng katagal na silang gano'ng katagal na silang huling nakapagbayad ng kanilang membership. Sumunod, gano'ng katagal na siyang nakauwi sa Pilipinas. Kasi meron pa hong sa amin lumalapit, 90s pa nakauwi na eh. Pero paliit pa ho ng paliit ang aming may tutulong. But we have a very, very flexible
DNR. Sa DNR. By way of comparison. So, medyo maliit pa po kami. Pero okay lang po kasi nag-uumpisa pa lang naman. Nasa batas naman po na if ever mag-create ng new positions, we will just comply with the DBM process po.
The majority leader will correct me if I'm wrong, no? Nasa batas natin ito na also that this has a sunset provision ba? The DMW na we do not also foresee this or intend this to be a permanent department. Tama po ba yun, Mr. Majority Leader?
Yes, Your Honor, distinguished Minority Leader. It is part of the state policy that we should not be forcing anyone, especially our kababayans, to go and work abroad. It is the duty of the state to actually create jobs domestically, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you for the insight from our majority leader. Siya kasi nag-defend dito, kabisado na niya ito. More than a year yata defense the majority leader dito. 2 years. Now let's go to the OFW Hospital. Dr. Legaspi, kayo na po pa dito?
OIC administrator po habang in transition.
At the same time, you're with the
Yes,
PGH?
If I may be allowed to give a background so that you understand our presence here.
Sige po, Doctor.
I'll just give you a background. When this was conceptualized after the meeting of President Duterte and then Secretary Bello, the Secretary wrote the President of UP if PGH could help in the formulation of the processes and programs and the organization of the hospital after it's built. So the hospital was built with a donation from Bloomberry Foundation, and we were called in 2022 to start organizing personnel management, manpower management, clinical services, and also program development. So we have assigned Dr. Dante Dator, who's one of our consultants, a former director of the NKTI, but he has retired since then, and in the process of getting a new permanent director, as we fill up the plantilla positions, I have been assigned as the OIC administrator. That's why I'm here defending the budget also, Your Honor.
But Doctor, you're also the chief of hospital of PGH.
I'm the director of the Philippine General Hospital, but as I said,
Director na lang ngayon?
it's still the equivalent of the chief of hospital,
Chief of
of the
hospitals,
medical center chief of DOH hospitals po. Yes po.
Dalawa, you're going to manage 2 hospitals you're managing 2 hospitals as of the moment?
Yes po, but of course there are managers under me, and I have assigned Dr. Kay Garcia, who's the chairman of our family medicine department, to be the liaison for PGH and the OFW hospital.
Ito bang OFW hospital, Mr. Chairman, created by law ba ito? Law?
Executive order muna ho siya.
EO?
If I may,
Yes, okay.
Sen Bongo.
actually, sa ngayon, di ba, under siya ng Department of Migrant Workers, di ba? And then, may bill ngayon, at nag-subcom po si Senator Raffy Tulfo na pinag-aralan kasi sa ngayon nga, nasa DMW. And then, una, ayaw yata ng DOH, pero ngayon, parang pinag-usapan, maybe sa hearing or pag-usapan pa, dapat may kakayahan talagang magdala ng hospital ang magdala nitong hospital yan eh. So sino yung may mga doktor, expertise, sila po dapat magdala. Pag-uusapan na lang po unang-una. Pinaka-importante rito may pondo, pangalawa suporta, manpower, personnel, of course doctors, mga medical workers natin dapat ang nakatutok dito. Sayang Sir Senator Coco, napakasayang po nitong ospital na ito. Ikikwento ko na lang po sa inyo na pinagawa po ito ng dating previous administration, Pangulong Duterte. May nag-donate po ng property sa pagpapatayo through PAGCOR. And then finally, meron na tayong hospital na inaugurate. At nakakatuwa nga dahil nilagyan rin po ito ng malasakit center. Meron na silang malasakit center doon. Ang problema, wala namang pasyente. Nung binisita nga po ni Senator Raffy, walang pasyente, kulang pa yung mga kagamitan, nagiging ghost town. Sayang naman po. Yung ibang hospital, sobra-sobra yung pasyente. Isang kama, 2 pasyente. Ito naman, sobra-sobra yung kagamitan. Nandiyan yung hospital, wala namang pasyente. So, dapat po ma-address ito immediately. Pag-usapan kung sino talagang mag-handle, anong departamento. At wag masayang po dahil napakaganda po nito na hospital na ito. Dedicated talaga ito sa ating mga OFWs. Para po ito sa OFWs. Dapat po mapakinabangan ito ng ating mga minamahal na mga OFWs, mga migrant workers natin.
Thank you for that background from Senator Bongo. So, Dr. Legaspi, ano na status itong hospital? Physically built? Physically built?
Yes, Senator. It's fiscally built. It's been running since May of 2022.
Running, okay.
Our census has now shown that we have served in the last year that we have been in function. As of now, we have served 20,754 patients and have done 81,091 diagnostic and ancillary laboratories. Since the time we started on a 6-month period, the increase of patients was almost tenfold on an outpatient basis and 5-fold on a surgical basis. So the trend of increasing patient is there as in any new hospital. Unfortunately, we are in a transition period po. The previous administration was the administrator department, was the Department of Labor and Employment, and the transition to DMW, the processes also have to transfer regarding the hospital management. So we have already started we have already received the NOSCA for our plantilla positions for a 68-bed level 2 hospital, which we eventually will ramp up to 102 beds of level 2. No? But for now, the laboratory is now level 3. That's what we have done for the hospital. So that means advanced laboratory procedures are available, but as probably have been reported because of procurement problems, we are unable to deliver all of them for now. But the OFW hospital is is now seeking a budget that will project this growth in 2024.
Sige po, so...
If I may, Mr. Chair, if I may
Yes, please
interrupt.
proceed.
Sir, kasi nung bumisita po si Senator Tulfo, yun nga, nag-report siya, no? There were reports na naging ghost town po ito. So, ibig sabihin na hindi po totoo ito. May mga pasyente, kompleto naman po yung personnel natin doon sa ngayon.
Bumisita po kasi si Senator Tulfo ng Sabado because it's still a hospital that's beginning operations. Outpatient department ho ang pinapatakbo. So pag Sabado po at Linggo, walang outpatient department dahil nga po those are government schedules that we follow. And but as far as the hospital is concerned, nag-a-admit na po. In fact, as of now, there have been 27 deliveries already in the hospital. May mga nasesarya na rin. And we are proud to say that our volunteer doctors have stayed despite all these challenges. No? We have recruited for almost all departments, kompleto po siya. Pero katulad doon ng ibang hospital din, nakaka-experience tayo ng resignation ng mga nurses, but we are still able to cope with the number of patients. Padami po ng padami ang number habang tumatagal.
Sa ngayon po, ilang pasyente admitted?
Dahil nga po may problema sa supply ng gamot at sa laboratory, between 2 to 10 po ang na-admit po. Depende sa araw na dumating sila.
So marami pa talagang kulang sa ngayon.
Pero
Admittedly,
malapit na pong masolusyonan ito with the procurement processes that have been put in place by DMW.
nakausap ko rin po si Dr. K. Garcia.
Yes po.
She's from PGH at siya ang nakatutok dito sa...
Opo,
Okay. So, sa tingin ninyo, sino po ang dapat mamahala nito? Ang Department of Migrant Workers or ang Department of Health?
Babalik po ako sa dahilan kung bakit tinayo itong hospital na to, no, para sa OFW hospitals. So, para po siyang magiging specialty hospital at palagay po namin sa vision at na binigay ng Presidente Duterte at ng current administration, palagay po namin, in my humble opinion, I think it will be best managed by the DMW because they'll be able to incorporate this in the programs directed towards OFWs. Hindi naman ho kasi medical care lang ang ini-envision dito. May mga programa ho sa mga pamilya, may mga programa sa repatriation. The hospital aims to improve the repatriation process of our and there's no better department with the hospital that I think can do this. At pati ho yung standard ho ng pre-employment medical examinations, ini-envision din po ng hospital na standardize ito, gawing mataas ang kalibre para yun po larong makinabang mga OFW. So I think ang mga programa po ay mas mate-tailor sa mga OFW pag under DMW po siya.
So, magpag-uusapan po yan sa darating na hearing, no, nung OFW Hospital Bill. At maganda maging ma-institutionalize na po ito at mapakinabangan po ng ating mga migrant workers itong hospital nito. Sayang po, kami naman bilang chairman ng Committee on Health, suportado ko po ito at lalong-lalo na po sa mga OFWs nating kababayan. Dapat po mapakinabangan na nila kagad ito at makumpleto po itong hospital nito. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Yes, thank you, Senator Bongo.
Mr. Chair.
Just for the information also, last year, yung sa NEP ng OFW Hospital was 0. And we added 500 million. Dr. Gaspi knows this. And this year, what was allocated for the OFW Hospital is only 13 million. So I guess we really have to augment again. Last year, yung 500 million ba nagamit natin, Dr. Gaspi?
34% po ang utilization dahil nga po wala pa yung NOSCA ng plantilla and this comprises a huge part of the annual budget. Pero po, with the coming of the NOSCA, magagamit na po itong 2024 kung dumating.
Okay,
Chair?
thank you. So before we continue, the Chair acknowledges the presence of Senator Bato de la Rosa. Good, thank you for joining us, sir. Yes, Yusek Tonet.
Mr. Chair, for this year po, 2023, 13 million din po yung binigay ng DBM. So, niretain po nila yung 13 million. That's why we got the support of the Senate for the OFW hospital po. Opo, last year nabigay po. Pero 13 po, hindi naman po 0 this year.
Mr. Chair, if I may just say
Yes.
I just feel compelled to speak kasi nagsalita si Senator Bongo at kasama po kami sa paglakbay, dear Senator Bongo, nung tinatag ito. And just to assure the good senator and the good senators na we will not let you down po. And we will continue to make this work. May adjustment lang po talaga halimbawa sa aspeto ng procurement. Nung nakakasanayan na ng DOLE yung procurement aspect, ay biglang naisali naman sa amin. So yung sabi nga ni Doc Gap, may transition din at adjustment din from our side na hindi sanay sa medical procurement. But rest assured nitong October and November, papasok yung batches of yung mga lots of procured items that will cure the matter on more inpatients na matatanggap. And we assure the good senators of these further positive developments po.
Okay, so this is the OFW hospital by name and purpose. Pero in practice, in reality, outpatients ang mga nandun. Siyempre, you're serving the community. Na, this is located in Pampanga, di ba? Tama po?
Yes po.
Siyempre, hospital ito eh. So, you're actually serving a geographic area. You cannot serve people in Sultan Kudarat, in Butuan. Imposible. So, outpatients, not necessarily OFWs, the community. So, it's in practice like a hospital. In name and siguro yung original purpose, supposed to be an OFW hospital.
Yes po. In practical ways, that's true. It's a hospital. It cannot refuse emergency cases when they come in. But the programs that it will develop will be for OFW. Let's say for the families, the dependents will have a ready hospital to go to based on OWA validation so that we know who to give full support to also po. But the mandate, of course, we will not be able to refuse anyone who walks in there, especially
Yeah,
the urgent ones.
most likely 20,000 patients are reported, mostly outpatients. Definitely, yun, those who find the hospital accessible. Imposible, at saka yung family-based programs, ano pa rin yun eh, geographically influenced pa rin po yun. OFW from Davao Oriental, his family is in Davao Oriental. Will they fly to Manila, land trip to Pampanga to avail of your family programs? What do you think, Dr. Legaspi?
Okay.
In the first place kasi, ano ba ang nagbago sa katawan ng OFW such that you can say that there is a specialty hospital for OFWs? Doctor, sige, educate us.
Wala. Medically, wala po. I think the illnesses that afflict our patients from the OFW are exactly the same as we see in any hypertension, diabetes, pregnancy, conditions that require hospitalization. But as I said, I think the vision that was seen for this is that in a concerted program with a health as a base program, other services will also be rendered to our OFWs. And it's not the OFW in Sindalan, San Fernando, Pampanga does not aim to answer the problem of all the OFWs. It aims to be the template. I think when it was conceived to be the template of other hospitals in other regions, hoping that the specialized care that they get in terms of a holistic approach to the unique problems of our OFW families will improve the level of care for them po. I agree, we treat the same. Pareho lang po yung mga ginagamot. Pero as I said, meron hong nakaprograma on a 5-year basis and a 10-year basis on how it will eventually evolve as a specialty hospital for OFWs po.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Apo.
You have the floor.
Mr. Chair, may I update that the Department of Health po is currently doing the identification of regional medical centers where OFW wings or wards are to be established. Ito po, Mr. Senator, yung naging realization last year. You're pointing out nga na geographically it's limited to people who have access there. So yung naging kasagutan po was to partner with DOH and then magbubukas po ng mga OFW wards in the existing regional medical centers as a priority phase. Yun po yung update, sir.
Yes, yeah, para merong parang special lane or ano kaya, rates, whatever, expenses, ganun, ano.
Opo, may mga packages.
Our OFWs will feel parang special treatment
Opo.
in terms of other matters, kasi pagdating naman sa sakit ng katawan, pare-parehas lang din po tayo. So before this year na meron siyang binigyan ng OFW Hospital ng 13 million and then by intervention of Congress na increase to 500 o nadagdagan ng 500. Did the 13 become 500 or did it become 513? What happened to the budget of the OFW Hospital?
May additional po na 500
So it became
million.
500. Before this year, 2023, noong 2022, walang binudget for the OFW Hospital.
Wala pong na budget, Mr. Chair. Nanggaling po sa Department of Labor and Employment na budget. Yung,
Okay. So meron din sa DOL.
Sa
na?
DOL, opo.
How much was it if you know? You said?
a little over 200 million, Mr. Chair.
And ito lang, just in case you know, nagastos lahat yun?
Opo. Yung hindi po nila naubos lahat, inilipat din po sa amin sa DMW this year.
So marami ring halagang hindi nagagastos siguro.
Opo, kasi nga po, as mentioned by Doc Gap, it was only 2 weeks ago that the NOSCA from the DBM was released to us. Ngayon pa lang po sila magkakaroon ng
Loss nga would be sa people, no? Sa
po.
staff.
Opo,
not
the
people.
notice of staffing and compensation.
Sabi ni
action.
Dr. Legaspi, this was started from a donation by a certain foundation. So, what was donated, Doc, if you just in case you know, land lang, and then tayo nag-build?
Sorry, the land was donated by the province of Pampanga
Panggang land.
on the
okay.
USIFRAC agreement. And the infrastructure was donated by a private foundation as arranged for by then President Duterte. Yes.
So, okay, land from the province of Pampanga, the physical infrastructure from a foundation, and then yun na, ginastusan na natin ng 200 for maybe equipment, pharmacy, salaries, ganun pa ba, Doc?
And then in addition to that po, may PAGCOR na 200, PAGCOR donated 200 million for the equipment
To start.
na all accounted for already, all dispersed po. Yeah.
Doc, if I may,
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Opo.
saan specifically sa Pampanga yung hospital natin?
Sa Sindalan, San Fernando, Pampanga po. Sindalan.
Sindalan.
Nandun po sa mga provincial or regional centers po.
Thank you. Salamat.
Hindi kasi, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Acting Chairman, yun na nga, malaki-laki rin itong binigyan na ng Congress ng 500 million for this year, and then sa NEP 13 lang, pero meron silang augmentation na proposal 600 plus ito pong lumalabas 653 million ang hinihingi na ibibigay sa OFW Hospital. Ang problem kasi there's no law creating this hospital. It came into fruition because of donations. Ang problema, palipat-lipat pa. Nasa labor at nasa migrant workers na department, hindi siya sa health department. That's another problem. Siguro kaya nga, pero kung nauubos natin yung 200 million in the past, ngayon is sa 500 million, 30%, 35% utilization lamang. So,
Yes po.
nandun lang din tayo sa 200 million level.
We are most of the MOE po ang karamihan na naubos. Yung more than 30, I think it's 40%. Dahil po all the employees are now on contract of service and job order positions. Kaya po the big part of the expense of the MOEs are the salaries of the contracts of service.
Siguro, Mr. Chairman, ang nakikita kong dahan-dahang specialization madidevelop sa OFW hospital in our cases for medical repatriation.
Yes po.
Yung mga emergency care yan, sasaluin ng isang hospital galing sa abroad pa pinapalipad na may sakit, mga ganun, na may aksidente, whatever. Well, that's the specific siguro expertise which will be developed over time. But I do not know how the doctor used the word template. I hope that the plan is not to build OFW hospitals nationwide. I don't believe that's the template. But the wing approach is the more practical approach. Yung sa mga public hospitals natin, may wing na dedicated for OFWs and their family members. Kasi dito sa OFW pamilya nasa Digos, to avail pupunta pa sa Pampanga to avail of the program for the family. So it's not practical, Mr. President,
Kaya
Mr.
nga,
Chairman.
Minority Leader, I was tempted to ask this question to Dr. Legaspi. Kung ako OFW from Davao Oriental, what would entice me to avail of your services? Kung halimbawa, may sakit ako, sabihin ko, pwede man ako magpa-confine doon sa Southern Philippines Medical Center, SPMC. Mas malapit sa pamilya ko. Pero meron ba akong added benefits or added advantage kapag dyan ako talaga sa OFW hospital pupunta? Meron bang, can you entice me to go there to avail of your services?
As of now, sir, the services are really very basic for now. Wala pong advantage na SPM over SPMC, pero I think the support of the OWA, which is part nung programa ng hospital, ang isang malaking advantage. So OWA will support the patients and their dependents. So at ang plano nga po dito sa mga usap-usapan sa mga officials po ng DMW, ng province of Pampanga, ng donors, it is, as I said, the grand plan is isang pinaka-advanced na hospital in Pampanga na marereferan, parang PJs po, na buong Pilipinas nare-referan siya dahil nga may mga nagagawa na hindi pa nagagawa sa ibang parte ng Pilipinas. Parang ganun po ang ini-envision dito. No? And in fact, gusto na nga ni Vice Governor Pineda tayuan ng cancer center, ng dialysis. So siguro, sabi ko, dahan-dahan muna, but patatakbuhin muna natin siya. At katulad nga ng sinabi ko, the grand vision, magkakadahilan talagang OFW kung walang ang serbisyong na bibigay dito, hindi na bibigay sa ibang hospital.
Tama ka. Just like, sabi kung ako pupunta dyan magpa-confine, meron pang available na mga pwede matirahan ng aking pamilya. Kasama ko, asawa ko, or anak ko.
Opo.
Hindi na ko uwi ng Davao, di ba? Pagdating ko galing sa Saudi Arabia, pagdating ko dito, diretso na ako dyan, magpa-confine ako dahil mayroon palang available na matirahan yung aking pamilya na sumundo sa akin. Yung mga ganun ba, added benefits.
So,
Yeah, thank you.
Sir, dagdag ko lang po, just to show you po may nanggagaling kong pasyente sa ibang regions din. No? Sa NCR, naka 500 patients po. May nanggagaling pa as far as Region 13 at Region 12 po. So, ang isa pa hong ginagawa ng OFW Hospital ngayon, ating mga kababayan abroad, merong direktang link sa telemedicine sa OFW, especially during the COVID times. No? So, nagbukas po ng telemedicine hotline at pwede po silang kumonsulta directly kahit sila sa mundo. Available po ito sa kanilang mga offices abroad.
Okay, pero pagdating doon sa telemedicine, the DMW could have also have a program like that, but not necessarily need a hospital. Di ba? You could tie up with the hospital, an existing hospital. Saka ito, Mr. Chairman, na baka kasi kapapasa rin namin yung regional specialty hospitals bill. Baka na overtake na rin itong concept na ito eh. Ano na rin yan eh, may mga cancer may mga cancer specialty sa mga regional hospitals. So what's the point in duplicating it, di ba, Mr. Chairman? So, at any rate, malaki-laking halaga po ito. If we are spending 500 this year and then ang proposal is to augment next year's budget by 600 something, 1.1 B na kaagad. And I hope we are not over, Yusek, who made this augmentation request? Ano to, collective effort ng, na leadership of the DNW? I hope we are not over requesting, na baka matulog lang yung halaga kasi ang amount, kasi hindi pa naman ganun ka-ready yung hospital eh. Hindi pa naman sila ganun ka 100% prepared to absorb everything. At any rate, we are taking this from the 9.8 Emergency Repatriation Fund lodged at OWA, under OWA's budget. Okay. 9.8 minus 5.1, 4.7 billion. Stays with OWA. Tama ba, Mr. Ignacio Arnel?
Yung, I think it's 9.7.
9.7 lang. O, sige.
9.7.
9.7 minus 5.1, which is request nga ng DMW to be transferred to them. Ilan yun? 4.6. That will now remain with OWA and it will remain as ERF.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so there's no request from OWA from any itemization of that 4.6 na ilagay sa ibang items. Nothing. Wala kami sa harap namin. Nothing. Kinaklaro ko lang para hindi kami ma-surprise.
Yun lang ang flexibility as we mentioned the last hearing. Yun lang po ang hiling namin. Total nasa MOOE naman yung ERF.
Baka mahirapan tayo ron unless you can, I hope you can come up with specific wording to give you that flexibility.
Yeah. We have...
Sana inanda nyo na ngayon para...
Andyan na po.
Ha?
O kasi yung nakaraan po nasing napag-usapan, we've come up with a new plan after the DBM has expressed the willingness to give us permission to use the ERF na mailipat sa aming capex from the MOE. So we will be modifying our budget. So our current 9.2, meron pa ho kaming natitirang 9.2 ay magamit na namin doon sa shelter. So essentially our utilization will rise and then matutulungan pa natin ang CDMW and next year we will have a more manageable amount of 4.6 billion. So yun po yung amin sanang isasubmit sa inyong plano. Kaya binago po namin yung isasubmit after the expression of the DBM to give us the go signal.
Sige. Just teach us and be clear on the technicalities.
Mr.
kasi-
Senator. Sen.
Yes, you said.
Yes, just perhaps to boost our confidence level, nung isang araw nakipag-dialogo kami sa mga veteran or former OFWs. And one of the issues they put forward is, after having served for so many years as OFWs, parang nakakalimutan sila, lalo na sa medical aspect. At buti na lang po may OFW hospital and yung napipintong cancer fund. Kasi eventually, obviously, as they grow old, the illnesses start to set in, and cancer and diabetes, yung dialysis center na nabanggit ni Doc, are among the chief, hypertension are among the chief illnesses. So this is where we are confident, Mr. Senator, that we can spend the money because we will also cover former OFWs who had served their families in our nation.
But they're spread all over the country nga eh. Do you require them to go to Pampanga?
Matakil din po ang population, Mr. Senator, within Luzon. So we're also confident
From Ilocos, papabiyahe mo sa Pampanga.
they can also be meron kasi ang location po ng Pampanga, Mr. Senator, is gitna, central Luzon. Of course, we cannot force them or require them to travel, especially with grave medical conditions. But the short answer is our hospital will be available to serve them if they feel that they need to come to the hospital, outpatient or inpatient, to better serve them. Many areas where there are many OFWs are also close to the hospital and can be accessed by these OFWs.
Yes, Yusek, nga ganito nga ang point na if their concerns are already to the level that you feel that there should be a hospital for them, di ba? But we know that that is really a hospital really needs physical accessibility. Why don't you come up with a program to serve that need na imagine mo, na nakita ninyo? Which does not involve the building of hospitals everywhere. So what is that program? Mag-isip po kayo. That's the challenge to the DMW. What's that program? For former OFWs, current OFWs,
Yes.
kailangan ng dialysis, but he is in Cagayan Valley.
Yes,
So what is the program?
That will be part of the program, Mr. Senator. The cancer program that we had mentioned, one of Secretary Tutz's last programs to endorse, is precisely for that purpose. It did not be confined to San Fernando, Pampanga, yung distribution ng proposed fund na yon, but to cater to OFWs who are all over the country and through time incur or are inflicted with cancer.
Nabanggit niyo yung former OFWs. Pagka former OFW na ba, hindi na under the responsibility of OWA?
Your Honor, depende po sa kanyang tagal kung kailan siya nakauwi. So may duration lang hanggang
Generally,
kunyari mga 2 taon, kaya pa namin sagutin.
Hindi sa kaya as a policy.
Oo.
As a policy, pag OFW ka, registered, documented OFW, OWA. But now that you have, after your stint as OFW, you tell us 2 years, you will still allow them to avail of your programs?
Kagaya po nun, depende ho, Your Honor, kung gano'ng katagal na silang gano'ng katagal na silang huling nakapagbayad ng kanilang membership. Sumunod, gano'ng katagal na siya nakauwi sa Pilipinas. Kasi meron pa hong sa amin lumalapit, 90s pa nakauwi na eh. Pero paliit pa ho ng paliit ang aming may tutulong. But we have a very, very flexible program kung sakasakali na talagang wala na siya, hindi na siya papasok sa mga programa ng OWA, the Office of the Administrator can, in one way or another, provide them with some amount of financial assistance. But largely, to help them totally, hindi na po magagawa ng OWA. Kung ganun po yung magiging kanyang sitwasyon.
And, yes, Mr. Chairman, sige.
Ibig sabihin yan pala, policy-wise, wala tayong, hindi talaga definite, walang nakalagay doon na 2 years lang ka lang namin ikikater or 3 years, o wala policy-wise.
So it's,
Wala nakasabi doon.
Your Honor, is mostly when the OFWs po ay lumapit sa amin, binubusisi natin mabuti kung ano talaga yung mapipiga nating maitulong.
So depende na yan sa awa. Pag maawa ka
hindi
talaga,
naman po.
pagbigyan mo. Pag hindi ka maawa, hindi na nila pagbigyan.
Yan ang sasabihin ko sana, Mr.
Not
Ignacio.
necessarily.
It's too dependent on discretion eh.
Situation.
Kaya nga, so ayusin niyo po yung inyong mga policies dyan and programs. Kasi, so that means, if it's a former OFW, salo na ng DMW?
Siguro just to add to what Admin Arnel mentioned, merong tinatawag na programs for inactive OFW. So kinukonsider yung bilang ng contribution niya, Mr. Senator. And then from there, may pinipeg na corresponding benefit. So halimbawa po, ang isang inactive OFW who passes away, kahit na ex na siya and gaano katagal nakauwi, gets 20,000 pesos when he or she passes away. The family gets 20,000 pesos. So, depende ho sa programa, depende sa inactive status, ilang contribution. So, those things are factored in po para mas may objective criteria.
Tama. Sige, Arnett.
Yes, hindi naman po, hindi naman uso depende sa awa. Kasi nga ho napaka-complex nung kanilang sitwasyon. So marami naman kaming programa na pinipilit talaga na tugunan yung kanilang bawat pangangailangan. Kaya yung dulong-dulo nga, Your Honor, kung sakasakali talagang hindi na talaga siya makapasok doon, idadali na namin doon sa may tutulungan siya kahit paano doon sa donation na admin's office.
Kasi meron ka pa nasabi nung last hearing natin na yung amount actually nung loan, meron kang binanggit na programa eh. From as low as a certain number all the way up to 1 million pesos. I mean, ano yun? I mean, I hope there is some science to determining who gets the 1 million pesos. Hindi lang total discretion of the administrator or any other person. I mean, naalala ko po yun sa last hearing po natin. No? So pag i-check ko yung inyong mga bylaws dyan or inyong mga program details, makikita ko po doon. Paano natin malalaman who gets the 1 million pesos?
Ano po yun? Sa reintegration program po yan. So it's not the
Yeah, but I
administrator.
noticed the amount. Ang lawak, ang layo eh. Oh. Who determines na napakaswerte na 1 million makukuha nung taong ito? Oh, yun.
Ito po, Sen, Your Honor, meron po na tayong pamantayan dyan kung paano po sila mabibigyan to our Tulong Puso program. This grant is given to groups of OFWs na merong pinopropose or merong ongoing na kanilang negosyo na gusto nilang i-upgrade. So ito, meron tong grading system kung paano siyang mabibigyan. Pero yung administrator wala hong discretion doon kung sino yung bibigyan. Isang buo pong programa ito na yung aming reintegration program ang namamahala.
Good, there's a grading system. So may formula
Yes.
behind it. So ngayon, nabanggit kasi ni Yusek Hans yun sa sa mga former OFWs eh. So, salo ba ng DMW ang former OFWs?
Yes, that was within our mandate din po na tulungan sila. But of course, Mr. Senator, depende sa programs that we will carve out. So it's not a mandate at large na lahat ay tutulong. So depende po sa program that we will carve out. And one of them, as mentioned, would be the cancer program that is being proposed.
Thank you, sige. Siguro one final thing para makatanong din po yung mga kasama ko. Sa DMW Act, I think defined doon yung seafarers. Tama ba? Tama, no? Ito kinukonsider namin ngayon, the Magna Carta for Seafarers, iba ang definition, iba eh. So, should we allow that to stay, to remain at that difference?
Yes, I think so po. To reconcile both measures, the DMW law covers all types of OFWs who board ships or vessels, which includes regular commercial vessels and fishing vessels. So doon po nagkakaiba sa fishing vessels because the Magna Carta intends to cover those who are covered by the Maritime Labor Convention, which excludes fishers kasi po they are covered by another ILO convention. So in the long run po, ang nakikita namin dito, there will eventually be a overseas fishers law or can be if and when we choose to align ourselves with the Convention 188, the ILO Fishing Convention. So wala naman pong conflict. In fact, sa DMW side, nako-cover na po namin yung mga fishers because they are covered by contracts. And when SecToots was alive, we had been working with the ILO to develop a new and amended, a stronger fishers contract for OFW fishers. So consistent naman po, Sen. And the Magna Carta will cover those covered by the MLC 2006 ng ILO.
Thank you for that, for the professional opinion of the of the department itself na okay na kasi pareho magiging law yan ha. So pag tignan yung law ninyo, seafarers, ito definition, we have a Magna Carta of Seafarers, iba definition. And sa tingin ni Yusek Hans, okay lang na merong inconsistency but it can be explained naman, okay.
Yes po, yes po. And when there is that new law on OFW fishers, magkikita na po sila. We will cover them all already.
Sige, Mr. Chairman, I better yield my time so that the others
Mr.
can
Chair.
also ask questions. Thank you.
Thank you, our Minority Leader. Yusek Tanet.
Mr. Chair, speaking of seafarers, thanks to Senator Coco, I am under obligation to manifest to the committee that after we submitted the details of the 5.1 billion, a new executive director of the National Maritime Polytechnic has been appointed and assumed office. And in that short time, he has made an appeal for us to also possibly request 52 million pesos to support the upgrading of 2 simulators at the National Maritime Polytechnic. These are the full mission bridge simulator and the liquid cargo handling simulator, which impacts on about 8 courses that we deliver to train our seafarers. So, kaya dinala po namin yung sulat ngayon, pinirmahan ni Yusek Hans. We will also submit this for the assessment of the committee.
Thank you, our Majority Leader.
I will no longer pursue on asking questions, Your Honor, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to congratulate our friends from DMW, and I just found out that Dr. Gap will be here. He is my mother and sister's doctor, kaya medyo naging emotional ako nung makita ko po siya. Di ko alam kung natutuwa akong nakikita ko siya, but praise God for his life and his service to our countrymen and people. I would just like to ask probably na lang for submission. For example, the one that you're talking about, I've been there dun sa maritime, yung simulation nila, nakita ko yun, but that was a long time ago. I'm sure they need upgrading. Siguro hingi lang din kami ng performance, accomplishment report para kung hihingi ka kasi ng pondo, laging hahanapin sa'yo ng mga kasamahan natin. Again, we're here to help. Number 2, let me point out yung request ni Sir Arnel. Para sa akin, I am for it, I am supporting it, but please give us an official letter, and din sa official letter, can we also put in your projections, dahil at the end of the day, we don't want an incident wherein biglang may pumutok tapos wala tayong mapagkuhanan dahil inubos natin yung ERF natin, no, na right now is about 9.2 billion na unused, and we understand why, no one is blaming OWA or anyone, but it's really something that you have to embrace. When I was in TESDA, I remember it will always come out, oh, bakit yung utilization, etc., ganito, ganyan. It is because of the fact that you do not disburse the money right away until you finish the implementation of courses, until you finish assessment. And just like dito sa ERF, syempre, kung walang repatriation, masaya naman tayo dyan. Ibig sabihin, walang problema. But of course, yan ang laging magiging kaakibat yan. But we wanted a letter, official letter, and of course, blessing ni Sec Kakdak na ito yung gusto po ninyong mangyari para magawa natin sa provision ng batas so that you don't have to go to Congress and revise the law. Matagal po yun. Ito yung shortcut na pwede nating magawa. Pangatlo, let me ask yung yung development nitong system that you wanted to implement, itong mobile app, DMW mobile app, OFW Pass, kasi may mga sinasabi din sa amin, complaints din na ewan ko, kasama bang Bureau of Immigration dito? Are they on board in this pilot run? They are on board, sir.
Yes, yun pong data that is put in by the OFW to process the pass, at yung clearance ng app granting the electronic pass goes to the BI.
Okay.
Kasi may data sharing agreement kami with BI para mabasa ng BI, and based on the last data, 5,400 na po yung nakalusot sa BI carrying the pass. But having said that, Mr. Senator, we'll be the first to say na may glitches, and we still have around 2 weeks of the pilot run to address the glitches, and we will
Update us lang,
submit
please.
our findings. Yes po.
And this system development is being developed in-house or DICT po?
In-house po,
in-house
Mr.
din.
Senator.
Good.
And one of the things we resolved to do is to reach out to the DICT after the pilot run, Mr. Senator.
Okay, sige. Hingin na lang po akong update doon. And then sinasabi ng ating Pangulo yung ini-envision niya to pursue this vision, yung new technologies and secure emerging opportunities for our Filipino seafarers in the global seafaring industry. Siguro, hingi lang din po tayo ng update doon on how we can further protect our, binabanggit nyo kanina, yung deployed fishers, considering that fishermen, OFWs are experiencing recruitment-related violations dun sa Filipino seafarers. May data ho kami na nandito. Ayoko nang tumagal kasi itong deployed fishers, deployed sea-based workers, fishers among deployed sea-based workers. And that's the main reason why when we were crafting this law, we wanted to make sure that we have 2 assistant secretaries na sa land-based tsaka sea-based, no? Isa pa yung sa EMSA audit, gusto ko sana humingi din ng update kasi 'di ba merong tina-target na, correct me if I'm wrong, 10,000 participants for the Maritime Research and Skills Competency Program. Meron po akong narinig na ganito from Marina, and of course we welcome studies, but findings have to be translated into concrete actions para masiguro po natin na we are on the right track. So yun lang po yung hihilingin ko, Ginoong Pangulo, Mr. Chair, and I will give way to my esteemed colleagues. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and again, let me put on the record that I am in full support of the budget of DMW. We are here to help in any way we can. Kung yung 2 taon na pagdedebate at pagsusulong nitong DMW kasama, lalo na ito pong 2 nasa katabi ko, si Senator Bato, Senator Bongo, during that time last Congress, talagang they really work hard for this measure to be passed, and wala kaming ibang ninanais kundi makitang magtagumpay ang departamentong ito. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Majority Leader and Principal Sponsor of the creation of this department. Next is Senator Bongo will deliver a manifestation of support, of course, to this department who he also, I think, supported in the past.
Salamat, Mr. Chair. Of course, no, full support tayo, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga very competent na mga opisyales po ng Department of Migrant Workers, Arnel Ignacio, Yusek Kaunan, Yusek Antoinette, OIC Hans Kakdak, na mga nagtrabaho talaga noon sa panahon ng pandemya. Alam kong halos wala kayong tulog nung panahon yon. Salamat sa inyong serbisyo, Yusek Bernard Olalia, and of course, Dr. Gab Legaspi. First of all, nakikiramay po ako sa mga opisyal at kawani ng Department of Migrant Workers sa pagpanaw ng may tuturing nating haligi po ng ahensyang ito, the first Secretary of ng Department of Migrant Workers, Secretary Toots Ople. Kasama po natin si Sec Toots sa pagsulong ng kapakanan ng ating mga OFW sa buong mundo. Kasama po natin siya magmula nung binabalangkas pa lang ang batas na lilikha ng DMW. Laki pong challenge noon nung una pa, nung ginagawa pa yung IRR. And then, nakakalungkot ng bilis ng panahon. Her passing was indeed a great loss. But her contribution and